welcome you to another session of Xenial webinar series. Thank you for joining in. We are super excited, I guess you can tell. It's basically about the topic and the speaker. But before we start with our webinar, I would like to take you through our journey of why we came up with the idea of conducting these webinars. Xenial webinar series is basically designed and formulated for our freelancing community, our suppliers, and our partners to give knowledge and to take knowledge about the industry, provide different skills to upgrade, and to keep the community united. We at Xenial believe that we can make a difference, but not being alone, but by being together. As per today's topic, we are going to get knowledge about one's personality and how to be a good leader. What are the traits to be a leader and how our personality plays a vital role towards leadership? Before we introduce our guest, our special speaker, I would like to inform you there's one special and one simple rule for this webinar. We need you guys, we need every person over here in the audience to be actively involved by sending your questions and your suggestions and your experience towards your personality and towards leadership. We have audience from different set of job roles, from a director, from a manager, from a student. So I think these comments, these questions would help each other. Also, we will be doing some polls at the start of the webinar to know your thoughts and your beliefs. On the screen right now, you can see a link. It says www.pollev.com/xevents003. We have shared it on your chat box as well. Please click this link and it will be active on the browser on the other side. So what you have to do, it's a simple rule. It's not so difficult. Just click that and it will be popped up on the browser. It is for our questionnaire. We'll have around like 5 to 6 questions, polls before the start of the presentation, so we can understand your mindset and we'll understand from which background you are here for. So moving forward, today we have a very special guest, Mr. Errol. Mr. Errol, he is a trainer, a singer, and a founder of UAE's one of the most recognized event management company called Pure Magic Exhibitions Conference Organizing. He set up the company with his team in 2005, and since then there's no looking back. Today, he might be sharing some experiences of his journey. So we welcome Mr. Errol. How are you, Errol? Let me see. Yeah.
All right. I'm just about getting warmed up. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Hey, Pramit, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm very well. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm so excited to be here this evening and this afternoon. And I hope everybody who's joined us is also excited to see what I could share with them. How are you keeping?
I'm great. Like, we are super excited. We were waiting for since 1 week. Then when we're gonna have this kind of discussion, and we got like surprisingly, and not surprisingly, basically, we got like a lot of questions towards personality, towards leadership, from youngsters, from people who are like super experienced. They really want to know, and we are honored to have you here to share your experiences.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Errol. But before I let you take over the screens, let's run the polls. What do you think?
Let's do that. Let's get a feedback.
Perfect. So guys, as we discussed, the www.pollev.com/xevents003. I hope you have opened that screen. And now we're gonna run the question session. So you can see the first question. What is your role within your organization? Let's see what we got. We got individual contribution. I'm responsible for my work output. Few from senior leaders of leaders. Yes. Majority are like individual contributor. I'm responsible for my own work output, not other than that. Yep. So we log the questions now. So we got percentage of 6% for senior leaders, leaders of leaders 17%, leaders of others, I manage a team of individuals 11%, individual contributors 67. Yeah. Let's go to the next question. The communication issues that prevent effective leadership. What do you guys think? Not giving clear directions, not having time to meet with employees, refusing to talk to subordinates. Oh, we do have refusing to talk to subordinates. I think Errol, today this topic has like not giving clear directions. Actually, a leader has to. You have a lot of pointers now. Not having time to meet with employees. So I think we'll log the question here. Not giving clear directions, got 52%, which I believe as well. Not having time to meet with employees, 36. Sometimes, yeah, we are busy and we don't. And then we got refusing to talk to subordinates, 8%. All right, let's move to the third question. What makes a good leader? What do you think, guys? Strategic vision and the ability to communicate that vision, inspire others, honesty and integrity, gives credit where it's due, listen to other suggestions, outgoing personality and approachable. So we have tie between strategic vision and the ability to communicate with listens to other suggestions. All right, we still listen to other suggestions. I got I think, yeah, we should log the question here. So we got the majority is listen to the other suggestions and strategic vision and the ability to communicate that vision. I think, yeah, that way it's exactly the right answers like what we got. Let's move to the fourth question. So do you think that you can be a leader? What do you guys think? I was born ready. I'm developing to be one. I want to be one, not my cup of tea. All right, we got mostly I'm developing to be one. That's something really good and encouraging. We see a lot of people here who wants to be, and they're actually working on that. Not my cup of tea also, 4%, which is strange. I think after your webinar, people like this will go to 0 for sure. Let's log this out, Sahil. So the most is I'm developing to be one, which is fair enough, which is really good. Proud of you guys. Let's move to the next question. Question number 5. And I think it's the last one. How would you describe your leadership style in one word? So you just write it down, what you think describes your leadership style in one word. Steady. Inclusive. I'm very curious to know what we get here. Ambition. Communication, model, role, transparency. Communication holds, I think most of the people, communication. Yep. Listener, patient, disciplined. Wow, team. Few more seconds and then we're gonna stop. I think communication is always really important. So let's stop here. Sahil, thank you so much. What do you think, Errol, for this? How would you describe the leadership style? Is it communication, I think, holds the power here? And as per the communication leader, we can figure out the leader is good. I can't hear you. I think your mic is mute.
Okay.
Yeah, now yeah, it's fine.
So, there are various factors what have been covered here. I would say all of them play an important role. Communication does play an important role, but I think you'd have to just wait and watch as we go in and I could share some more information.
All right. So now we're going to share the screen with Errol. thank you so much, everyone, for your patience and for your thoughts towards this. We got a clear vision, like what you guys are thinking of, and for the others also, they have got a thing. So now we're gonna share the screen with Errol.
Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet. Yes, now we can.
All right, brilliant.
All the best, Errol. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much. And hey, guys, I'm so glad to see you once again. Thank you, Pramit, for this opportunity to be here presenting to all of you. And thanks for the lovely introduction. So I would like to get started and share with you what Pramit has invited me to speak about, and that is personality and leadership. Now, what's the connection? It's whether there is a connection or not, we're going to establish it as we move on. So just to add on to what Pramit shared, I've been in the UAE for the last 21 years. I came here in 1998. I'm from Mumbai, India. And it's been an amazing journey. Before running my company for the last 15 years, I was, of course, working in various roles in different organizations, mainly in the hotel industry and the hospitality industry and the airline industry before I moved on. And what I intend to share with you as we progress in my little presentation is actually experiences that I have learned along the way that I believe has shaped my own personality, whether good, bad, or still in development. But whatever experiences I have gained over these years, working with different bosses, with different leaders, learning from them, watching them, observing them, that I believe has shaped my personality today. And I'm so happy to come here in front of you and actually share with you, those exact tips and things that have helped me move my life. So the first thing I want you to see on your screen is this amazing quote, which says, "Great leaders don't set out to be leaders. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role. It's always about the goal." So this is a quote by Lisa Haisha. Now, I believe this quote is a great start to what we're going to discuss, because we have to understand where this comes from. Because most people you will see who are successful leaders in life never decided one day that, okay, I'm going to be a leader. They just had a goal, they had a vision, they had a dream, and then they just wanted to pursue that goal and that dream. And as they started getting excited about that goal, as they started getting excited about that dream, they started taking the buy-in of people around them. You know, a team member joins, another team member joins, another team member joins. And then that leader, that person shares the dream, shares the goal, shares the excitement with his team. And as that team starts ballooning and snowballing, and that's when soon he or she becomes a leader. Now, what I want to do is share with you in this presentation a couple of attributes I believe are very, very strong and strongly needed to develop a personality as a leader. Before I continue, I must tell you, everyone who's watching right now has leadership traits. That's a given. There's nobody who's not born with the traits of being a leader. And you'll say, not me, I don't think I can lead. No, that's not true. You can, because you see, leaders are not born, they are made. So you have to understand that leadership is a cumulative of your experiences. It's how you take those experiences and you put them to work over a period of time that develops your personality into being a leader. So you'll realize that anybody, even if you've never had a leadership role in your life, you can still one day be a true leader, because all you need to do is decide to start today and decide to follow these 5 or 6 simple steps I'm going to share with you, and you'll already begin your process towards becoming a leader. So if you're excited like I am, let's get started straight away. So the first thing that you need to be a leader, I want to just go back and see if I can run this the way I want to. There you go, brilliant. So the first thing you need to be a good leader is you've got to be a learner. Now, this is a very, very important aspect. And without this key aspect, and that's why I needed to put it number 1 on my list. The first thing on my list is a leader is a learner. If you are not able to be a learner, a lifelong learner and a great listener, okay, you can never achieve the first tick of leadership. Now, let me Let me back that up with a story. I hope you guys like stories. Most of my stories, or one or two that I share with you, have got a lot to do with my own experiences. So while I was doing running my business, I was also engaged in direct selling with a very well-known company. And we used to attend all these amazing, huge conferences and grand conferences. And one such conference I was attending had around 8 or 10,000 people in that conference. And we were all sitting down and we were listening to the founder of the company, who's a very accomplished individual, an author, a business leader. He moves around with the presidents of countries. He's a very well-known and established human being, a very successful multi-billionaire. And what he was doing was, like he does every day around 1 o'clock in the night, that's how long the session would go on. He was sitting down and he was doing a Q&A with 8 to 10,000 people in that stadium. So people were sending questions to him and he was trying to answer these questions. And while I was listening to him answer those questions, I was like, wow, this guy has so much knowledge, because every question that came across to him was being answered point blank, to the point, hitting the nail on the head. And my God, amazing. So I was like, how does he do this? I mean, he's a mentor to around 8,000, 10,000 people in that stadium, and maybe 100,000 more around the world. But who is his mentor? Who teaches him? So I wrote a question and I sent it across, hoping that it would get picked among all the other 10,000 people writing questions. And to my good luck, my question got picked. And my question was, if you are a mentor to a lot of us, who is your mentor? And his answer was amazing. He said, my mentors are Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Swami Vivekanand, and all the top, the best leaders of the world. I was like, how? I mean, they're not alive. How do they mentor you? And he said, very simple. He said, they mentor me through their words of wisdom that they have left behind as a legacy. I read their books, and when I read their books, I learn from their leadership styles. I learn from their methodology, and that inspires me to keep moving. That inspires me to apply in my daily work. And I was like, wow. So anybody can have a mentor, even if you don't have a mentor. A book written by a successful leader can be a mentorship model to you. And that was a learning I never forgot. So you've got to understand that how important it is to be a learner. That human being who's a multi-millionaire standing there in front of 10,000 people, all riveted listening to him, says, even I learned today. Even I read a book, and even I study on a daily basis. And that was a learning for me. So here's how you learn. First thing is you got to observe and learn. You watch things around you. Now, you got to be a coach. When you see in a football match, you see the coach on the sidelines. So he's in the game, but he's not in the game. He's watching how it's being played, and he's able to see through his observations what's right and what's wrong and what's going on. So you observe and learn. The situation we are in currently with COVID-19, okay, you could sit down and be depressed and stressed, or you can step back and you can observe what's happening around you, and you can say, wow, there's a lot for me to learn. There's a lot for me to upgrade my skills on. There's a lot for me to apply. So observe what's happening around you, in the world around you, with people around you, and learn from them. Second thing is, of course, you read and learn. There are so many books that have been written. Never stop reading. As you continue reading, and more and more and more and more, you will realize that your own development as a personality, as a leader, is starting to show. Your language changes, the way you carry yourself changes. If you apply what you learn, your whole behavior changes. The third thing is, you got to listen and learn. So when you attend webinars, when you attend training programs, when you're sitting and listening to people talk, when you're sitting and listening to somebody share something, you got to learn about them, and you got to learn about what they're saying. Don't be indifferent to people who are trying to share with you. So here comes my fourth point. Position myself to learn. Now, this is a very, very important thing that we don't pay attention to. Let me explain what I mean by that. When you say position myself to learn, when somebody corrects you, when somebody gives you a suggestion, how do you respond? Do you respond immediately with saying, yeah, I knew that, I know that, I've done it before? When you do that, what have you done? You've immediately stopped that person from sharing with you. They've said, oh, this is a know-it-all. This person knows everything. I might as well not share anything with this person. It's better I keep quiet. But let me tell you, my friends who are listening in, that your critics or the people who are watching you and helping you and correcting you are your biggest mentors, because they are the only ones who have the courage, the guts to tell you where you're going wrong. So you must position yourself to learn. You must be an open book. People should be able to come and tell you, hey, you know what? This is what I think you've done wrong. And you should be able to say, hey, thank you for that. Don't justify, don't jump in and say, no, 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 but I did it because of this. Just say, thank you so much. You've been very helpful in sharing that information with me. It'll go a long way. So the first thing, be a learner for life. If you're a leader, must be a lifelong learner and a great listener. That comes to my second point, the second attribute of a strong personality in leadership. And that is, my friends, empathy. Okay. Now you'll wonder, what has empathy got to do with this? Empathy is very, very crucial, because when you lead a team, if you don't care for your people, if you don't have compassion and genuine care, then you cannot move a team. Your team will not be connected to you. They'll not be loyal to you. So you have to develop that skill of being empathetic, of being sympathetic. So let me explain, what does that mean? So first of all, you got to have a watchful eye. When you're with a group of people and you're watching them, you got to pay attention to see if somebody is hurting, if somebody has a problem, if somebody is not delivering to their 100%, then you've noticed that there's something wrong here with this human being. Let me jump in and find out what's happening and why that person is not able to deliver 100%. So here comes my second point. When you sit down with that person, make sure you give a caring ear. Make sure you listen carefully to what they have to say. And when you do that, do it from your heart. Not because you want to immediately correct them or fix their problem or tell them what to do, but do it because you just want to listen to them. And you will realize that when you do that, when they just let go of their problems and their challenges, and they find in you an empathetic leader, they will always follow you. They will always say, this is somebody I can connect with, I can talk to, I can come and share my problems with, and I will get good advice. Now, you may be able to give advice or not give advice, doesn't matter. But just the fact that they can approach you and that you are approachable as a human being, as a leader, makes a huge difference in you building a relationship with your team member. Let me share with you very quickly a story here that I'll never forget. In my last job, I used to work with an airline called Oman Air, and I had an absolutely amazing, wonderful human being, a lovely boss who was a lady, and she was an amazing leader, and I really looked up to her. I remember one day she had to go to Oman to present at a very large conference where, you know, all reports for the whole year were going to be done. I used to work in marketing. So I had sat down for like 3 nights working very hard on building marketing reports and all the statistics and figures and all that. And just the morning before she could go, I left it on her desk. She took it and she flew to Oman. Now just imagine, she went to Oman, and while she was there and she was presenting those reports, what I did not know is that I had made a couple of very, very big blunders in some of the statistics that I had put into that report. And when she presented that report, everybody just, sort of shot her down and saying, this information is rubbish. This report's of no use. And she came back again and she called me to her office and she said, Errol, I want to speak to you. Can you please come to my office? And I was like, when I heard this, I was scared. I thought, that's it. I've lost my job, because I've made a big blunder, and because of this big blunder, this poor lady has to face, senior management's ire, and they're all looking at her and saying, how could you be so foolish and pick up these figures without checking? So it was, I was really scared when I walked into her office. She sat me down, she gave me all the copies, and she said, here you go. I hope you know that you had made a very, very big mistake that changed all our figures. And I said, yes, ma'am, I'm so sorry. She said, it's okay. We made that mistake. It's all right. We made that mistake. Don't worry about it. Redo the figures. We'll send it across to them. I've already told them we'll send them a corrected version. So don't worry about it. Go back to work. I'm so happy you worked so hard. I know you were stressed out. You did a great job. And I was so relieved. My face, was bloodshot again. I was like, my God, I nearly thought I would lose my job there. But because of an understanding leader who understood that I was working very hard and I have made a small mistake, and she understood that mistakes can be made by human beings, I went on to worked there for 8 long years and was marketing manager before I left Oman Air. So this is an example I want to share with you because it's never left me. It's never left my life. It happened to me maybe 10 or 12 years ago, but I've never forgotten how an empathetic leader has helped me develop my personality. Let me go on to my next and third point, which is attitude. Now, attitude is an amazing word. Many people can take it in a negative way, in a positive way. But obviously, all of you know exactly what attitude I am talking about. What I'm talking about is a can-do attitude or a positive attitude, because that will keep your team motivated. If you say, you know what, don't worry guys, whatever happens, forget about everything that's happening around us, let's be positive, because your team is like a sponge. They're looking for energy from you. So if you can give them that positive attitude, that energy that keeps them going, they will pick up on that and they will run with it, and then they will feed it back to you. So it's amazing. There's that whole energy exchange happening between a leader and his team, his or her team. So it's very important that a leader has to make sure that they're always having a positive attitude. Now, how do you build a positive attitude? First thing is you need to have a vision. So if you have a vision, whether it's a project vision, whether it's a vision connected to a project, I know we have a lot of freelancers here. You're working in a project and you know that my vision in this project is I have to get these things done by so and so time. No problem. So you have to know always which direction you need to lead your team. When you have that vision and it's clear, anything goes wrong, you can always bring it back on track and say, hey, forget about it, happened, let's not worry about it, let's just get back on track and have that positive attitude to continue. Second thing is you need to have ambition. Okay, a leader must have the ambition to think big, and you got to power dreams. Because if you can think big, as a leaders always think big. I mean, great things have been done by leaders around the world who have the ability to think big. Great things have been done, whether it's a Nelson Mandela, whether it's a Mahatma Gandhi, or whether it's a Barack Obama, or anybody who you've seen who's achieved great success in life, is because they had the vision to go ahead and do that, the ambition to think big and say, this is possible, I have a dream, and I can take on my team's dream, I can empower them with my dream, and I can move them forward. So second thing was ambition. Third thing is adaptability. Now this is very important to understand. Challenges like the challenge we are in right now at this point of time can occur anytime in our career as leaders. Are you having the capability to adapt? Can you pivot? Can you make changes? Can you take a step back and say, hey, this is not the end of everything. I am who I am. My team has amazing skills. I know who they are. Can we work together? Can we adapt? Can we do something else? Can we move ahead? So that is the third thing. If you have this attitude or these three concepts in your positive attitude, you can really, really drive an amazing team. That comes to my next point, and that is decision making, right? Now, here's something that every leader can either do right or wrong, and it's up to you how you can build your skills to make those decisions, because a team is always looking to the leader to make that crucial decision. Right or wrong doesn't matter, but you've got to be able to take that decision fast. So develop your skills on decision making. How do you do that? Very simple. First, communicate effectively. Listen to each of your team members' opinions. Doesn't mean you have to follow them. Listen to them first at least. Understand from them. Okay, what do you think about this problem? What do you think about this challenge? Let's talk about it. So you communicate effectively and get an answer from them. Second thing is you evaluate all the options that your team has placed in front of you. You evaluate it. You say, okay, you said this, you said this, you said this. Okay, this is what I'm going to decide on. Let's take a decision, and then you make that decision. But the third and the most important thing, and don't ever forget this, it is you've got to take 100% responsibility if that decision fails. You know, going back to an amazing story that was shared by the past president of India, Dr. Raman, when they were doing a satellite launch, and he was talking about that story. You can go and look it up on YouTube. It's an amazing story of how when the rocket crashed and it failed, his immediate team leader went out to the press and took 100% ownership, said, you know what, it's my fault, we messed up, we've lost the country millions of rupees, but it's all my fault, and I believe we can do this again. So leave it to us. I have an amazing team, we will do it again. But the second time around, when this mission was successful, the leader did not even go up. He pushed his team to take the credit and said, you know what, it's not me who's done this, it's my team. They are the ones who really achieved that level of success. So always remember, as a leader, you make that decision after you talk to your entire team. But if that decision fails, it's always and always your responsibility, and learn to take it. Never put the blame on your team member. Never. Because if you do that, they will stop communicating with you. They will stop sharing their ideas with you, and you don't want that, because you're not a superhuman being and you can't have all the ideas in your life. You need your team there to bounce off ideas and mirror your ideas. Here comes my next point, guys, and that is empower. Now, what do I mean by empower? See, as a leader, you have to constantly work on developing a second line of leadership, because you cannot be alive forever. You cannot be running that department or that team forever. So you have to always look at building a second line of leadership. How do you do that? So first thing is, you got to empower your team. You've got to empower them to take on roles. Tell them, you can do it. Don't worry. I believe in you. So empower your team members to take on new roles, new challenges, new projects. Empower them. Give them that power that they require to move ahead. Second thing is, encourage them. It's okay if they fail, they don't fail. Encourage them to make the decisions. Encourage them to take decisions, like Elam did for me in Oman. And she said, don't worry, you messed up, we messed up, but we can fix it. Just go ahead, you continue working, and we'll make sure we succeed. And the third thing is, educate your team. Invest in educating your team. Share with them the best practices, because a lot of leaders believe, oh, you know what, only I can do this right. But if it's always going to be you doing it right, then where are you building your system? You will always have to be the most important cog or the most important gear in your organization. And that's not the way to run an organization. You've got to build a system. You got to empower your team. And how can you empower somebody that you've not spent time in educating first? Because if you empower them to take on a senior role, but they're not educated enough, you're not invested in educating them, whether you're educating them one-on-one with all the ideas, tips, tricks, teaching them, hand-holding them, working with them, going for meetings with them, coaching them how it is done, or you're sending them to a course that they could attend or a program they can be a part of, but invest in educating your team. So these three things, these three E's are very vital to empowering your team. Empower, encourage, educate. That comes to my next point, and that is recognize. This is one of my last and the most important points I would like to share with you, and that is recognition. Guys, gratification. A person receives a word of thanks in gratitude, a recognition or a reward can actually make them go for miles and miles and miles. You must always learn how to appreciate the hard work put in by your team members. And that's a very important trait of a leader. Because everything cannot be done by you. So if your team is going to be doing things that can help the whole team move ahead, then recognize that effort. Recognize it, whether it's a small effort or a large effort, appreciate it, say thank you, great job done. I truly appreciate what you've done, amazing. You can do even more, I can believe in you. All these words will go a very, very long way in encouraging your team. So recognition and boosting your team's morale is very, very vital for your organization, your growth, your team's growth. So first of all, whenever you can, shower praise on people who achieve things. When you do that, when you shower praise on people who achieve things, it also motivates those around who say, I want to be in that place, I want to be appreciated, so next time I'm going to work harder. The second thing you want to do is you want to reward wherever possible. Monetary rewards, gifts, take them out for lunch, for dinner, spend time on them. I mean, it's amazing, and I have a few of my team members on this call, and they'll tell you, we did really well in 2019, and we decided to surprise the entire team. We are around 20 of us, and we said, you know what, let's give them a Christmas surprise. So we surprised the entire team, and we took the entire Pure Magic team on a 2-day holiday to Georgia. We had a blast. We really enjoyed ourselves. It's rewarding, not only for us, but it was rewarding for the entire team, because many of them had never seen snow before. It was an amazing experience. I'm sure, if they had to go back and remember, in their lives, where was the first time you saw snow? Oh, I saw it while being a part of Pure Magic on our trip to Georgia. It's something that they never forget. But it also helped me hold my team together, and we're so close. We're like a family. I'm blessed to have a most amazing team. We're like a family. And that is because we believe in recognition. We believe in rewards. We believe in celebrating birthdays together. We believe in celebrating anniversaries together, because these things make a big difference. Always, you've got to learn how to say thank you to your team. So guys, 6 points, very simple. If you allow me to summarize them very, very quickly, once again, right in front of your screens, let's summarize. That's my team, you can see there. The first point, most important point, is you've got to be a learner. L, always be a learner, okay? The second thing is you got to learn how to empathize. You got to understand your team. You got to feel for them. You got to connect from your heart and consider them as one of your family members, because that's more important than anything else. Because when they feel like they're one of your family, then they work with heart and soul. Third thing, always have a positive attitude. Build your team, encourage them, empower them, work with them, show them your vision, say, don't worry, whatever challenges face us, we will adapt, we will pivot, let's do something new, because I believe in you, I believe in your skills. Third thing is, take those crucial decisions. Your team depends on you making those decisions. Listen to them, ask them for their opinions, take their opinions, consider their opinions, go in deeper with their opinions, and then, but final decisions always lies with the leader. And when you take that decision, also take the ownership, that if it fails, you will take ownership and not blame your team for it. The fifth point is empower your team. Encourage them, build a second line of leadership. Make sure that you're pushing your team members ahead, so that you don't have to keep doing this for the rest of your life, but you're helping leaders grow from within your organization, from within your team, because that's the most important thing. A leader is one who makes others a leader. So you have to learn how to make others a leader, because that's what a leader does. And the final thing is to recognize, to reward, and to make sure you say thank you to all those who have worked hard to build what you're building. So there you go, friends. 6 simple points that you can all remember. If you've not made a note, make a note of it very, very quickly. You can take a screenshot. Learn. You've got to be a learner. You've got to empathize. You've got to have a positive attitude. Make those quick decisions. Empower your team member and recognize them. And that's all it takes to build the amazing personality of leadership. All of us are constantly in a mode of building our personalities, and all of us have it in us to be leaders, because all these things I shared with you can be learned on the way. You don't have to be born with it. You can learn it. You can develop your skills towards it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope I was able to share enough knowledge with you. I would like to end with this amazing quote of John C. Maxwell that has sort of inspired me all these years. I never forgot it from the time I heard it more than 25 years ago. And that is, a leader is one who knows the way. So you've educated yourself, you've learned the way. Who goes the way. So you got to show by your own example. You don't be the one ordering, but the one doing it. And then he shows the way, he leads his team through and through with it. So thanks for watching, guys. On screen in front of you are all my social media handles and my email address. If you'd like to stay in touch with me, please do follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I would love to connect with you guys. Also follow our company handles. We would love to, be in touch with you. And thank you, Pramit, once again for this opportunity of sharing this evening with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Errol. Like, I don't have words. It was really good. Like, I made some points. I was writing it down, each and every single point. Like, as you mentioned about learn, about empathy, about attitude, decisions, I have a small story to tell, like how I came into this industry when I was not. It was 2012 when I joined a company in India, Delhi, the capital. So I was into sales of a software for an event company, but I was not into events. I didn't know anything about it, like how things are done, what events are basically. And I have never even visited one by then. So over there, we had a manager. I think she is here today and she's also listening. It's because of her. Her name is Jaya. Because of her, I think like I'm into this field, because when I was in sales and I was really bad at it, like I couldn't sell that software. I was not able to convince people. It was my first job. And that motivation was something like, no, I can't do it. She read me. She made me understand. She spoke to me. She asked me questions like, what do you want to do? And then when she saw that I think I can be like, Pramit can be better in this job, she told our director that like, I want him to be in this project, which was in Mumbai. And that was, I think, like so far is the best event, a conference which I did. It was massive, around thousands of people came. It was from Washington University. So it's just like a leader actually sees you, and leader sees like, yes, this person has a potential. So that leader trains you, motivates you, and then pushes you, okay, yalla, do it. So I think, yeah, it's really important. A leader has to have a lot of traits in them. And not every single person can be, but I think like people can be leaders, everyone can be, but they have to adapt to a lot of traits, like what all you have mentioned: empathy, learn, attitude, decisions, empower, and recognize. So it's like really, really important. Thank you so much for sharing all these pointers. Guys, if you have any questions, if you want to ask anything to Errol, please feel free to send your questions in the chat box. Other than that, we already got some questions, Errol, for you. The first question which we got is, if you had a chance to start all over again, would you do this? What would you do differently?
If I had a chance to start all over again, I would do nothing differently. I mean, to be very honest with you, I am generally, I tend to be a very, very positive human being. And I believe everything that the Lord above, we call him different names, Allah, God, has put in front of me in my life, have been either to build me up as a human being or teach me a lesson that I could never forget. So I believe it's an amazing life I've lived. I've never had the need to struggle, too much. I mean, we're in the events industry, Pramit. Last 3 months we have no business, no work coming in. But the fact that I have a family of 6, we're all healthy at home. I have a team of 18 now, and they are all healthy. That itself is amazing. Say, okay, what can we do with that? So there's nothing I would do all over again. I'm just happy, and I would just do the same thing and work with whatever God puts in front of me.
Oh, thank you. There's another thing we have, like as you mentioned, like when we were talking also a few days back about this, like it actually triggered me that yes, like right now at this point of time, pivot, you need to change, you need to adapt to things. And like these webinars also, like we are trying to educate people to get more, like you have your leadership skills. Like I didn't know about it. Like I had a lot of things which I was like, shit, I was doing it wrong, or I'm lacking in this. So with this is a knowledge platform, I guess. So like we are doing for our freelancers, our community, like you are also doing it, which is really helpful. So I think, yes, change is good. Plus the way you work, you focus is very important.
Absolutely. So agree with you.
Yeah. There's a question, an introvert. Do you think an introvert can lead?
What is an introvert? Let's understand that first. An introvert is generally somebody who doesn't like to maybe socialize, who doesn't like to, meet a lot of people, like to stay, to stay within, his little shell. From what I know, the great Mahatma Gandhi was an introvert. He never, he never was much of a person who would like to meet people as well. But today we consider him as one of the greatest leaders. Your ability to be able to communicate and speak from a stage and present to 1,000 people is not even important when it comes to leadership. Leadership is whether you can sit down and where you can understand, what's the need of the hour, and if you can implement that with logical thinking, with working with your team to guide them in that direction. You don't have to be, a social person for that. So anyone can be a leader because we have it in us. We just have to understand what's required of us. I mean, if you see the 6 points I've shared, anyone can do that.
That's exactly right. Yeah, this is what I think also. I think with your team, if you have a good team also, you are able to just communicate that one message to them. That's the vision of your company or the goal of your company. Absolutely. And team understands that means, I think like sometimes I'm an introvert too. I'm not that extrovert. I can go out and talk to a lot of people, speak in front of like thousands of people. But yeah, that's true. It's just like how well you deliver the messages.
See, over a period of time, you'll notice that the guys who say they're introverts actually end up becoming better public speakers than the guys who are extroverts. No, it's a fact of life. I'll tell you, I've met so many very, very amazing public speakers who've gone up on stage and moved people with their thoughts, with their process. And they all start by telling you, I was terrified of speaking on stage.
Right.
You know, so don't, anybody who's asked that question, if you're here in the audience, I would like to let you know, don't worry, don't equate leadership with having to be able to speak in front of thousands of people. No, leadership is about ability to lead your team to achieve that level of success, that achieve that level of goal that's required. And down the way, as you keep doing that and repeating it and repeating and repeating, your confidence builds up. Then you can talk to 2 people, 4 people, 10 people, as your team grows, 20 people, 50 people, 100 people, and then you're talking to large organizations.
Exactly right. With this, there's a question, like, it's interesting. So like when you're saying like we are growing as well, with that, like, how do you exactly deal with the team member who is affecting the team's progress, even if the leader has been clear and approached the member like appropriately, like this is how you have to do, talking to that person, and still that person is not understanding and creating else? What do you think about it?
So it's a very, very, very valuable point. And you remember the gentleman I spoke about in my first example, the person who I learned from.
Right.
It brings to memory exactly this question that was asked of him by another very, very senior leader in an organization. We were sitting down in the training, and he said, first of all, you have to understand who put that person, that employee or the team leader or the team member in front of you. Mm-hmm. You have to first understand that. Who put that team member in front of you? Okay. Now, I don't know if everybody in this chat group has understood that question, but it's very simple. It's when we meet somebody, when somebody comes into our lives as part of our organization, it generally has a larger hand involved who puts people in front of us, Pramit. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Now you have to understand, is this person in front of me to make me a better leader, or so that I can make him a better human being?
Right.
Because it's a task. It's a task.
Yeah.
You have to decide: is this my being in front of this person? Am I going to become a better human being after this experience, or am I going to help him or her become a better human being? So you can take a choice to either give up on them and walk away, but then you have to ask yourself, if that was your brother, a mother, a wife who was in front of you and being difficult, or your child, would you give up and walk away?
No. Right.
Exactly. So you've got to work with that team member. You've got to find out empathy. What's bugging them? What's the problem? There's something that's affected them in the past that's making them the way they are. Can I work with this person? And that's where your caring as a leader comes to the fore. If you can effectively work with this person and turn this person around, it takes a little time. But let me tell you, the way you spoke a few moments ago about Jaya,
right,
that person will never forget you for the rest of their lives. And in that way, I must also say, Jaya, good job done. Thank you. Because of that, we have Pramit here with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Jaya. All right. So this was really, really important. Like, I do understand, like, as per like my experience in this industry for like now 6 years in UAE, if I count, I have come across and I've worked with a lot of freelancers, like maybe thousands. So this point is really valid. Like sometimes you need to show empathy and then you have to talk to them. You have to understand what they think about it. But sometimes we do have those situations when, if you're talking about events, it's like live. Even if you're telling them something or the other, they might not react upon it because they might not understand, or they might think like, is he like stupid or what he's saying? I'm doing the right job. But then we have our clients who pinpoints them. Like very small example I'll tell you, and it will be really quick. We had a staff member. He's really good. I really like him. Like, but his point was he was not that fast. If you see those registration areas where you do the queue jump, you know, so you just have the registration. You say, welcome, please go ahead. Hello. Yeah. Thank you so much for showing this. Please go ahead. So this process is like really quick because there's a massive queue behind you. But this person, what he used to do is like, he used to greet that person for a minute or two. How are you, sir? How's your family? Like a lot. So that way it was a negative impact for him in front of the clients, so that they don't want that person to be here. But he was really good at communication. He was really good with dealing with people and understanding.
Can I jump in? Pramit,
Yeah,
can I
sure.
jump in here and tell you something? Now, just imagine, okay, as a leader, you've observed this amazing skill. Now, he's
Yeah.
not doing anything negative, but you observed he's doing something more. He's going more out of his way to deliver
Right.
an extra level of service. So all you need to do is, and this goes to anybody, take a
Yeah.
step back as a leader and say, can this employee or can this team member be fit somewhere else where the
Yeah.
same skill could be of value? So maybe he's not at the entrance queue, but
Yeah.
he's at the last point where people are just walking in after getting their wristbands and I say, hey, it's good to see you. How you doing? I hope you had a great. So you see, and they'll say, wow, what an experience. Even the
Right.
last guy, so it just depends. We just need to swap and
Swap.
replace them, but give them that power. Don't tell them, you know what, you're rubbish. You're not doing a good job. So I'm going to move you. But say, you know what? I think you're doing an amazing job. I think I know where you'd be better fitted. Let me move you. Let me get this person here. I want you to be here, and I want you to do the same thing you've been doing because you're very impressive.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly my point. I think I follow your lead because I never kicked him out, no matter what. Like I heard from the client, but still, like, I kept on changing his positions, locations wise. But like, I do understand your point. Yes. Some people, they do backfire, get out. But yeah, that's how you have to just handle the situations.
Absolutely.
There's one more question we have. Let me go through. It's a very big question. Do you think an efficient leader questions the decisions of team members or question them on why certain decisions were made? Do you want me to repeat it?
I think I'm sort of getting it, but repeat it one more time.
Do you think an efficient leader questions the decision of team members or questions them on why certain decisions were made? Like why have you made this decision, or rapidly, like, understanding that person, I guess. Like, why did you make the decision? Why do you think this is good? I think.
Okay, so let me put it like this. Questioning people's decisions, if it has an adverse effect or if the resultant effect is maybe failure or it's not worked well, is important. It's
Right.
how you do it that makes the difference.
Right. The
Are
execution.
you going to question that person in front of his team? Because if you do that, you're de-edifying him, or you're
Right.
bringing him or demeaning him in front of his team members, or you're going to take him aside and say, hey, you took this decision. What made you do it? What's your thought process behind it? Let me know, because if we can fix it, if it's gone wrong, we can fix it. I want to understand your thought process. There's nothing wrong in questioning people, because when you question, you're also helping them grow.
Right.
You're
Exactly.
also helping them to think, what did I do wrong? Why did I make that decision? Why did it come from? So it's okay to question. It's very important is how you question it. What is your tone of questioning? And are you questioning so that you can educate, or are you questioning because you want to reprimand? Because if you're dealing with a team and you're trying to question because you want to reprimand, then you're going to lose a team member here. But if you're questioning so that you can educate, and you can say, you know what, I think this is what you've done a little bit wrong, you could have fixed it like this, then boom, you should question 100%.
Right. Exactly. That's absolutely right. In this, it comes your personality with leadership.
Absolutely.
Like, how's your personality towards asking these questions or talking to the team members, or even recognizing this person's decision in front of the team? Then I think it's like, this person has taken this decision even to the client sometimes, like you said about the satellite in India, like how it happened. Like, then you encourage your team, go ahead, this is what this person has done, so that people get motivated and then they can work much better.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
I think that some questions, a lot of questions has already been answered. Guys, if you have more questions, if you want to know something else, please feel free to ask these questions. Otherwise, the session time is almost done, Errol. So from my side, everything was really, really good, Errol. And I have understood how leadership and personality actually works. And for surely I'm going to implement that in our company as well. Like, as a startup company, we are also learning, we are developing new techniques, listening to the freelancers, also listening to our clients, listening to our suppliers to understand like how we can move forward in life. There is one question we just popped in. It's how to lead a team where you are when you are new, and how do I encourage people to take control and responsibility?
How do you lead a team when you're new, and how do you encourage people to take?
how to take control and responsibility. Like,
Okay, so brilliant. So there are two parts here of this question. One is, how do you lead a team when you're new?
right.
Well, there's no such thing as new. You just put all the 6 things I taught you into place. You learn, you read books. It takes another quick anecdote of what happened to me. I remember my first job was with the British Airways back-end database office in India, in Mumbai. I don't know, Pramit, if you heard of a company called World Network Services. Yeah,
No.
WNS as it used to be called. So
Okay.
I remember it was a job where you had to handle and work on a computer, and I'd never worked on a computer before. Never. I did not even know how to power it on and start. And I went in there and they gave me the job because I could communicate and say, okay, you get the job. So they said, do you know how to use a computer? And I was like, but I knew somebody that pushed me through. So I got the job, and it was a weekend. I had just 2 days to go, and then third day I joined the job. So I just went in very quickly to a computer institute near my home, and I said, you know what? I need just 1 hour. I just need you to teach me how to switch on the computer and show me what the mouse can do. If you can show me these 3 things, I'll be okay when I go to my job on Monday morning. And he just showed me that how to power on the computer, how to start, how to use the mouse. And just with those simple techniques, I jumped into the job. We had 15 days of training. After that 15 days of training, I still remember we had these old, you had bitmap, they used to call it. I was doing PowerPoint animations on bitmap in 15 days. Because why? Because I said, hey, I'm here already. Let me learn. Let me experiment. So Going back to that question, if you're new, there's no such thing as new. Pick up a couple of books overnight, read them, understand. We just shared with you 6 points. You've made a note of that. Apply them, start working. And on the way, you will develop into an amazing leader. It takes that time. It takes that experience. Second thing is, how do you empower people? Hey, show that you're confident in them. Don't reprimand them if they make a mistake. Encourage them to try again. If you do that, you will always encourage your team to take on ownership, because they're terrified that if you correct them, that they're going to be going into their shells. So encourage them to say, it's okay to make mistakes. Like my boss did that many years ago in Oman. It's okay to make a mistake. Let's do it again. Don't worry. The minute you have that attitude, you will empower people to make decisions.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Thank you so much for this. This is actually really, really good. Sometimes I get goosebumps with listening to like what you're saying. And these points are like really, really important. Like it actually makes a lot of sense towards like dealing with things. There's a last and final question. I'm going to do it. It's just about when we become a leader, there are a lot of people in the company, like if it's a big organization or even a small organization, people try to put you down. They don't want you to grow and they want you to fail in that point. I think like some people, they might get demotivated and they might fail themselves or they just leave their position. So how do you tackle that situation?
The good point, Pramit. In Hindi, they have a saying, "Dunya ka sabse bada rog kya kahenge mere bare mein log." The biggest, you must have heard that. The biggest disease people have or we face is what would people think about me. You know what? The reason why people try to put somebody down is because of their own insecurities.
Right.
Why would I try and put Pramit down? I would try and put Pramit down because I think Pramit is better than me. Pramit is superior than me. Pramit has better skills than I do. So what do I want to do now? I want to jeopardize that. Right? So I want to go in there and I want to cut his legs off and I want to make sure that, hey, you know what? I don't want this guy to grow.
Right.
So how do you take it? All you got to think is, hey, the reason why he's putting me down is because I'm better.
Exactly.
And if I'm better, should I be giving up now?
No.
Because now's not the right time to give up. If I'm better, then I got to become better and best and keep moving it. So if you have this attitude, when people try to put you down or when people try to, you undermine you in front of others, it's always because of their own insecurities, not because of you. So you can just say, hey, you know what? Water over a duck's back. I'm going to keep moving forward.
Exactly. So like, there's like last thing what I want to say, it's just like, just be confident. I just got this line from Jaya as well. Like, she's like the first mentor which I had in my life. Like they say it like, I was talking to her regarding these webinars. Like, I'm not too sure where these webinars going to take us because I'm not too sure how we generate revenues in this. But then what she said, and she mentioned about that's something really important, is just like have that confidence, that thought which once came to you, that when you started these webinars, just keep that thought in your mind and just be positive towards what you're doing. It goes with every single thing in life. Even if you have something you made, like this is what I want, and keep working towards it. I know failures would come. Like I failed a lot of times. I had like sometimes I didn't have money to eat as well for like a couple of months, but then we figured it out, and right now I'm here. So it's just like you keep on working towards yourself and your goals, and I don't think so like you will fail. Even if you fail, you can just get up fast. This is what I was understanding. I was listening to Tony Robinson, then that's what he said. It's actually really, really good. Yep.
Absolutely right.
So
Read, guys. Do a lot of reading. There are some amazing books. In fact, what I could do is, if you guys connect with me, connect with me on LinkedIn, share your contacts. I would share with you some of the e-books that have really helped me, change the way I think. There's some amazing books. Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Secret. Right. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There's Bounce by Matthew Syed. There's the Magic. There are so many books that are really, the 5 a.m. Club, Leader Without a Title, Augmentino's books, so many books that can really help you to think better, to understand better. Also, a good suggestion, Pramit, is to read the autobiographies of past leaders, successful leaders. Right. Like I learned a lot reading over the Next Blue Mountain, the story of J.R.D. Tata, or Between the Yellow Arches, the story about Ray Kroc, who built McDonald's. Right. There are so many books out there, guys. Instead of spending your time reading fiction or things that don't matter, read stories of real people and what they went to, and you'll realize that, oh my God, there's so much more I can achieve because I have it better than many of these top leaders, who have achieved greatness. So if anybody wants to connect with me, Pramit, I would love to, share these books. I have many of them on ebooks, so I could just share it with you.
I think I'll be the first person to message you on LinkedIn.
Oh, my pleasure. I'll send it to you. I will.
All right. So, Errol, thank you so much. We are running out of time already. Thank you so much for your time. Do you just want to say something, the last few words for the people who are here today?
Yes, guys. I would like to end with words my father used to always say. I lost him in 2010. He used to always say, Errol, first find out what you like doing best. First find out what you like doing best. Then get somebody to pay you for it, and you'll never work a single day of your life. So today I'm excited. Pramit is excited. We're doing what we love. You find out what you like doing best, and you'll automatically take on a leadership position in that because you're doing what you love. Thank you so much, guys, for this time. Thank you, Pramit, for the opportunity. And I hope to see you guys soon somewhere.
For sure. Thank you so much, Errol. Thank you, audience. We got a lot of good feedbacks. Like everyone is really happy, and they're just thanking you. I'm going to share these feedbacks with you shortly. Guys, thank you so much for being a lovely audience and being here. You have shared a lot of questions, and we hope like we have answered all your questions. Just in case if you have more questions, please feel free to send us the email. It's like webinar@xenialevents.com. You can share your questions and we'll try to answer them. Also, we'll be sharing a link just right now. It's about the feedback for the session. Here you go. So just click and please give us the feedback for us to be better next time about the technology, how it is. You have other topics to share with us, whatever you want us to bring in, we can for surely work upon that. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Errol. Had a pleasure listening to you. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Be safe. Thank you. Bye.